Qatar didn't just change a race, it flipped the entire championship on its head. Lando Norris, one race away from the biggest moment of his life, walked out of Qatar looking shaken, doubtful, and hunted. Because Oscar Piastri just proved he can beat him, because Max Verstappen grabbed a win McLaren handed him on a silver plate. And because one single safety car, one risky strategy call, and one moment of hesitation has turned a comfortable lead into a three-way title showdown for the ages. And now the whole world is asking, is Lando Norris really about to become world champion? Or is Abu Dhabi going to break him? From the moment Lando Norris removed his helmet after the Qatar race, it was clear something had shifted. Not in the championship standings, not in the points table, but inside him. For months, he had carried the weight of expectations, the silent pressure of fans, the noise of pundits, and the rising energy of a team that suddenly realized they had built a car capable of beating Red Bull. But after Qatar, the look in Lando's eyes told a different story. One of frustration, doubt, and a feeling he never publicly admits. Fear that he might lose everything right at the finish line. What happened in Qatar wasn't just a strategic mistake, it was a psychological punch. Lando came into the weekend confident, leading the title race for the first time, but the entire narrative flipped within one race. Verstappen launched like a bullet at the start, slicing through the field with the kind of aggression only a three-time world champion can produce. Piastri reacted instantly. Lando hesitated for half a second, and that half second changed the entire rhythm of the championship. Fans only saw the overtake, but those inside the paddock noticed something deeper. Lando didn't trust the car underneath him. And even worse, for the first time this season, he didn't fully trust the strategy behind him. When the safety car came out, the entire paddock expected McLaren to pit. It was the obvious call. The kind of call top teams make with confidence. But the radio remained silent. Lando stayed out. And as soon as racing resumed, the consequences hit immediately. Verstappen, on fresher tires, attacked like a predator. Lando, meanwhile, struggled to defend, losing precious seconds that eventually cost him not just track position, but the psychological edge he had carefully built all season. People talk about lap times, overtakes, tire compounds, but what they often forget is how a championship is won through momentum. And Lando's momentum took a brutal hit that day. The way he walked away from the car told the whole story. Shoulders stiff, jaw locked, eyes avoiding the cameras. A young driver who had just realized he was no longer fighting Verstappen alone. He was fighting the pressure of the entire F1 world. Inside the McLaren garage, the tension was thick. Engineers whispering, analysts reviewing replays, strategists replaying the mistake over and over again. Piastri felt it too. Everyone did. This wasn't just another race. This was the turning point. And in moments like these, a driver either breaks or transforms. And Lando knows it too. You could see it in the interviews that followed. He gave the usual answers, saying, "We'll learn from this, and we'll improve next time." But there was something in his voice he couldn't hide. The realization that the championship he had dreamed about his entire life could slip away because of one decision that wasn't his. But that's exactly where the story gets interesting. Instead of collapsing under pressure, Lando returned to the factory with a different fire. The team reported he stayed late reviewing data, analyzing tire drops, turn-in points, dirty air impact, and even the first lap hesitation that cost him the defensive line. This wasn't the Lando Norris from 3 seasons ago, the kid who smiled through frustration and joked his way out of disappointment. This was a man digging deep, trying to rewrite his own narrative in real time. Meanwhile, Verstappen's camp sensed weakness. His engineers openly admitted they expected Lando to crumble after Qatar. To them, the psychological game is just as important as the technical one. And when the world saw Lando pacing outside the garage, helmet still in hand, you could almost feel Verstappen's confidence rising. He had seen this before. He had broken drivers before. It's what champions do. But what Red Bull didn't expect was how violently McLaren would respond behind the scenes. The team didn't hold back during the post-race briefing. Mistakes were acknowledged, data was confronted, strategy gaps were exposed. And for the first time, the entire team admitted publicly and privately, Lando was let down. Not the other way around. This shift matters, because when a team takes responsibility, it removes one of the heaviest burdens from the driver. And Lando needed that. He needed to feel this team was behind him, not doubting him. He needed to feel like Qatar wasn't the collapse of a title dream, but the ignition of something even stronger. And that's exactly what's happening now. As the championship heads into the final rounds, everything revolves around Lando Norris. Every camera focuses on him. Every headline discusses his mentality. Every former driver has an opinion about whether he's mature enough to handle a title fight. And every fan can feel that this story is building toward a finish no one can predict. This isn't just about lap times anymore. It's about pressure, about expectation, about identity, about a young driver who suddenly finds himself staring at the biggest opportunity of his life while the entire world watches to see if he survives the storm or gets swallowed by it. The most fascinating part is how unpredictable this ending is. Verstappen may have experience, but Lando has hunger. Max has the record books, but Lando has the underdog energy that fans love. Red Bull has the legacy, but McLaren has the belief that they can rewrite the history books. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos stands Lando Norris, calm on the outside, shaken on the inside, but more determined than ever. When the lights go out in the next race, everything will come down to one question. Will Lando Norris learn from Qatar and rise stronger? Or will that single strategic mistake haunt him all the way to Abu Dhabi? Because right now, the entire F1 world is holding its breath. And no matter what happens next, one thing is certain. This championship is no longer just a battle between two cars. It has become a battle of mind, courage, and heart. And the spotlight is locked on one man, Lando Norris.